Hello, good people. Welcome to our show. Hello, bad people. Welcome to our show. Hello, guys. Welcome. Today we are going to discuss more about revenue, how you can earn a lot more, how you can increase your revenue, how you can achieve seven-figure success, probably eight-figure success. We will see how this podcast is going on, and I'm so excited to discuss this topic with Ola Abitogun. How are you?
What's going on, my friend? How are you?
Doing great.
And I can
Um,
say Anatoly, right? Anatoly?
Yes, correct.
All right.
100%. It's me.
All right,
So,
awesome.
yeah, I remember our first episode that was valuable. So, I decided to invite you one more time to share more valuable insights. I have many projects that are going well. Some of them with stagnation, some of them just grow a little bit, some of them can show great results. So, I never stop, but I want to learn more how to grow, how to go ahead, especially we can unite with digital marketing that I usually share on this podcast with my great guests who can come. And before we start, just tell more about yourself, experience, background, remind about anything that can help our listeners to learn more about you.
Awesome, awesome. My journey started 44 years ago. I'm a Nigerian American, and I've basically spent most of my life here in America. Um, I am a digital marketer. I am a marketer. I am a content creator. My professional journey started as a real estate investor back in 2005 when I was in the middle of my master's degree program at the time. And it's been quite a ride since then. What I enjoy doing the most up to today is lots and lots of marketing activities. Maybe 50-50 with that. I like talking about relationships. So I do talk about relationships online, particularly with respect to long-term marriage, dating, relationships, stuff like that. So I use that skill set in the digital marketing skills in so many different ways on a daily basis. You know, um, yeah, that's my life right there. I am a father. I'm a husband. So I'm also very well cherished by my family members.
Awesome. Love
Yeah,
it. Love it. Yeah,
yeah.
great. My family can help a lot in my journey because my wife can decide a lot of problems that I can't touch. My kids can inspire me, to spend time to reload what I have. And I found if uh, people, when they only work without sharing time with family, they are not productive because need to have this reload. Um,
Yeah.
uh, Olam, I wanna ask about your Nigerian experience. You mentioned that you spent most time in the US, but I cooperate with some people in Nigeria. In most cases, they write for big websites like Forbes, Investopedia. We can help a lot of customers in this niche. And I found many Nigerians are great, with writing text. They have great English skills. They know the topic. They can provide something new, valuable. And I like this market because you can pay some money that make people happy. It's not like in the US. Yeah, I don't want to lie why we spend time on this market because, of course, we can save some money, but we can get great results. So tell about your Nigerian experience. Do you cooperate with freelancers in Nigeria, in your native country, and advise companies in the US to join or take this market?
Right. So it's something I'm open to. Hopefully, in the future. You know, I'm at the stage right now where my kids are teenagers. They might go to college soon. You know, and that will leave me a lot of room to be able to explore. But you're right. There's a huge market in Africa. You know, and untapped market opportunities. But there's a cost to everything in life. If you're going to take that risk, it is a risk. If you're going to explore that market, there is a cost to it. It's highly rewarding though, if you can figure it out. And staying here is a comfort zone. operating from here is a comfort zone for us right now because a lot of things are in place, that you can leverage. But so also there's less opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
That's but we make it work. So it's just a matter of options and what personal choices, right? The thing I see is I have a very young uncle who's about my age, but he's an uncle. It's like the last born of my grandfather, who runs a very successful firm in Abuja in Nigeria, and he runs a consulting firm for management, for training, all that kind of stuff, and he makes it work. He doesn't have a choice. So but he's also a very good liaison that when I do decide I want to go down there, I can I kind of like take care of his websites and host his websites and stuff like that, over here, and he makes good money out there. So it's just a matter of choosing your battles. you know
Yeah, I got it. Got
yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. I wanna ask about one element that I think very important for all entrepreneurs about patience. When I start something new, I always build these high expectations. I can win this market. I can grow faster than competitors that have experience for many
Yeah.
years in some market. And I always fail, always. Then I can learn how to go ahead, how
Right.
to change something. But I think it concerns any niche. I don't know how to become an Instagram star overnight, how to win on YouTube, how to grow your business from scratch fast. I have no idea how to do it. So tell me about patience. If we need to achieve results, we need to have this patience. And for me, it's okay if you have no money in the beginning. You
Yeah.
can make a lot of things without money. You don't need money, you need to spend your time. Tell about your methods, how to stick with something that you want to achieve and be patient with results.
Right. Right. So patience is a virtue, right? This is also true in relationships. But it's such a very common word that we take it for granted, right? It's easier said than done, right? And you're right. I have the same experience. I had set very high expectations at the beginning. I could see all the way through, like, oh, I'm gonna take it over, right? But then you get humbled very quickly, you know. Uh, but there's also a balance between that. My brother and I always tussle back and forth about this from time to time. Like, you got to pay attention to what everyone is doing that's hot right now and take advantage of it, right? So that you can be on the forefront, right? But oftentimes, that is a distraction. You're leaving this thing that you've been working on, you're building some equity, and then you take your eyeballs off of it and then you join something else, another bandwagon, right? And then if you want to go back to what you've been doing, you have to start from scratch again. It's very difficult. I can't lie. It's very, very difficult, right? Like, I wrote a whole book on digital marketing, right? But this is theory at the end of the day. It's theory. When it comes to practice, a lot of patience are going to be required, right? And even if you take up very fast, viral, right? That's also dangerous. That's also going to mess up your numbers because you're not going to have that viral moment every day. And that's going to kill your spirit. So you're right, it's a very difficult thing, and the only solution is to play the long game, consistency, and be patient. That's the only solution, and enjoy the journey. Find a way, position yourself to enjoy the journey so that the destination is not really some kind of destination. The destination, we're already there. I'm having a good time. If it's content creation, I'm having a good time. Whatever it is you want to do, you're having a good time on a daily basis. Consistent, slow but steady wins all the time. So even myself, I'm in a position where I am pivoting things back to what I enjoy doing, right? Release myself from being attached to the outcome. I enjoy it now. Spending this time with you, I enjoy it. I don't care what the results are. I do, but it's not that deep. It's not that deep. I'm having a good time. That is already more than enough. and that positions me to do it over and over again, and the universe has no choice but to reward that after a while.
Yeah, nice. I like about universe. I think it's very important to get energy from universe. I do it every single day, and I couldn't agree more about enjoying the process. If you don't enjoy the process, it's better to leave it and find something else. You can suffer. You know, for example, people watch TV 6 hours a day. They don't wait when someone will pay money for their hobbies. They pay money for to watch TV, but they enjoy the process. I can play basketball. I can play ping pong. I enjoy the process. Nobody pays me, but it doesn't stop me to
Yeah.
with my hobbies. I think
Yes.
your job is your hobby. If you don't enjoy, if you suffer to achieve results, I'm not sure it's a good idea to go ahead. And you remind me one interesting book. An author said when she got email from another book author, and this book author asked for advice. What's going on in his life because he couldn't sell his books for a long time, and he suffered a lot from that.
Yeah.
And she replied to him, "Leave it. It's not for you. It's not that I'm successful book author because I was born with that. No, I enjoy the process.
Yeah.
If you suffer, leave it. Leave it. Don't. And it helps me, by the way, during the way, to be patient because, okay, I want results, but I can go ahead if I have no results. It's part
Yeah.
of the game.
Yep. Yep.
Love it.
Enjoying the process is key. And I'm not saying people should just do things that don't generate results. I'm just saying, in addition to yes, you want results, you have a better chance of getting results if you enjoy the process.
Awesome. Awesome. Let's talk about something that I think is very important. And I think patience, yeah, is one of the elements. But the second, I can highlight energy. Without energy, it's tough to go ahead. And people with energy can overwork people with better skills. So if you have skills but have no energy, I'm not sure you can beat someone with energy who can test, experiment, fail, many times fail, but keep going ahead. So tell
Yeah.
your methods how to get this energy.
Well, in terms of energy, well, energy is neither created or destroyed, right?
Yeah.
So if you're going to get more energy, it's coming from somewhere. It's not necessarily being created. It might feel like it's being created, but no, it's flowing from somewhere. It's like one of those things when people say every time you say no, you're saying yes to other things, right? And when you say yes, you're saying no to other things, right? You're taking energy from one thing, you're applying it to other things, right? And it's very, very important to manage that as one of your major resources, right? You have time, that's a resource. You have energy, that's a resource. Money too is a resource, right? But there's only so much money that's flowing and circulating at any point in time. Same thing with energy, but energy is also has different forms, right? So energy might flow from different form to another form, right? You might see water in this cup, right? When it flows and it evaporates, if you heat it up and it goes into something that it looks different, it's still the same amount of energy or elements in it, right? But it changes form, so it looks different. And that's really all we have in terms of leverage. That's all we have in terms of the resources, right? How are you able to transform energy to income, to what you want in life, right? And that is skills too. In fact, skills is a form of energy, right? So it's a very delicate dance between all the different forms of energy, but it's something that I personally pay a lot of attention to, and I haven't done a great job, to be frank with you, over my 18 years of professional experience. I haven't necessarily done a great job. Like, for example, I know a lot. I know how to do a lot of things. Digital marketing, play the piano, have a talk show, right? Put together a whole book. This is my fifth. I have a fifth book coming out in December, right? I know how to do a lot of things, right? But I know people that have one book that are doing 10 times the revenue, right? So is it about the book? No, it's about, how do you go from idea to profits, right? And how do you do it seamlessly? How do you manage all the energy in between so that your energy is laser focused, right? At what point is focused too much and then you need to pivot, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a very delicate dance. That's why I brought it back to make sure you're enjoying the process. But that's one. The other thing I would say right now is pick one problem to solve. That is my new thing over the past 1 to 2 weeks now. Pick one problem for one person and solve that problem. It's going to get boring. If you are a person who is a creative like myself, you will get bored and you're about to jump to something else. Don't try not to do it. Right? Stay focused. One, right? All the way to $1 million. And then you can come back and decide if you want to, because you would have learned a lot in the process, data, right? You'll be able to apply it to the second, So for me, the advice I just gave, it's actually very difficult for me because I got 5 books and it's very difficult. Like they're all my babies, right?
Yeah.
So I've drilled it down to 2 things, right? I help you make money online. I help you have a better relationship. Help you make money online. And that is still breaking the rules. But it's just that, my wife can help me with the better relationship part, So it's kind of 2 of us. So I find a way to justify it. But really the rule is one thing. One thing. And that's a very difficult thing. And when you put all that energy into that one thing and you go in, right, you only get better with time, right? And then we have I think the last time I was here, I'm not sure. I shared the exponential curve. It's going to feel like it's slow in the beginning, but it's going to take off. When it takes off, you can't stop it, So, but it's hard to get to that point where it takes off if you have too many things going on at the same time.
Yeah, love it. Yeah, I think it's called focusing, and without focusing, it's tough to achieve results because you can become jack of all trades when you do a lot of things, master of none. But and I remember when I decided to grow all my social media accounts in 2020, I spent so much time everywhere: Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, even Pinterest, TikTok, and my best results were like 5-10 followers a day. Then I switched all my attention to LinkedIn to grow my audience plus 500 followers, 100K views, a lot of engagement, and I got it because of focusing, because
Focus.
of deciding
Focus.
only one thing, then trying to be everywhere. That's okay if you wanna achieve everywhere, but you need to start from one thing, then you can extend to delegate tasks with a team. So, but if you have no followers everywhere, just choose one social media.
Yes.
Choose one place. Then you can achieve results. Ola, I wanna ask about scaling. I have clients who are struggling to scale. They have sales, they have results, things are going on well, but they can't scale. They just stay in one place. Tell your methods, because I analyzed, I learned about your company, about your services, and can you tell what to do if you have revenue, if you have clients, but nothing changes for a long time, like a few years? Your advice, where to start and what to do.
All right. So the number one secret, my 7 figure, has to do with leverage, system scaling, something like that. If you don't have, when people struggle with scaling, usually it has to do with bad systems. Okay. Again, they're very good at what they do. They might have a couple of clients here and there, getting results, right? But scaling is not about you, right? If you're a creative like me again and you're very stubborn, you want to do it. You want to just do it by yourself because you believe that you're the only one that can do the best job, right? If you struggle with this, you will struggle with scaling, right? You just talked about delegation. The first person I hired some years back, it was a very difficult process for me, right? It was very difficult to decide to hire a person because I believe so badly that I'm the one that can do the job. And it's not something I'm admitting. I couldn't admit it, right? But that's exactly what it is. Like, no, let them go and do it. Leave it alone. Let them figure it out. If they get stuck, they'll come back. And then you solve the problem. You say, okay, go do it, right? If they figure it out one time, you just released yourself from a lot of stuff, right? And then production continues. It might not be as perfect. It's the same example of like the McDonald's, the Burger King, right? They're not the best burgers, obviously. You make better burger in your kitchen, right? But they create burgers with systems at scale. So it goes back to systems. If you have a terrible system from start to finish, you can't scale, right? Because the idea of scale, the reason why do we want scale? We want to scale because we want to serve more people at scale. Because the more people you serve, the more money you make, right? And then the more you can come back and maybe make the system better. But you got to get going. You got to create a system that cranks something out, right? And then be able to hand it to somebody else. So depending on what type of business we're talking about, you want to have standard operating procedures, right? SOPs. You want to have that anyone can copy step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Anybody can do it to 7, right? 5, 7 steps, right? They can do it over and over. If that one person does it, it's not their business. So they don't care about perfection. They just want to finish the process. You care about perfection. You stopped at step 2 because you saw something. Like, I could make this a little bit better. And then you wasted the next 3-4 hours on fixing step 2 that was already a 7 step from last week. If this was delegated to somebody else, they wouldn't do that. They would just finish the step, move on, right? Because they can't wait to get paid on Friday, right? I have the same problem in my church right now because I'm a church boy too, right? And when it's time to go live on Sundays, I told the pastor, like, we need to have step by step for the teenager who does it to do it. And don't come back to the media room. Leave them alone. Let them do their thing. You know the funny thing? They actually get better with time, faster than you, because you get stuck in creativity, right? Other people, other people's resources, other people's time, other people's energy, systems is how you scale, right? That's how you do it. You finish that process, then you come back over time. Every quarter, you can fine-tune things, right? You will have more data. So as entrepreneurs, we do a terrible job at this, right? Because we have the little data in our head of perfection, and we try to use that to fine-tune things, and we get stuck in that same thing over and over again. So the answer to the question is bad systems. Bad systems. If they can we need to know what is going on with that business, and then go from start to finish and be able to do that without involving the actual person who created it. And then they will be able to scale faster.
Interesting. Let's talk about more about bad system. For example, what I found, I can't use checklist to all processes. Each case is different departments, and we create a lot of content. We use PR, link building, SEO, digital marketing, even TikTok, many things. And in most cases, we cooperate with clients who come to us and tell, we have no time to do everything. So that is why we wanna delegate all these tasks to you, and we can help them. And it takes time to understand the process. And it's not like 1, 2, 3, 5 all points. It's more about personalization, different approaches to understand how it works, to use the system, but different ways. Tell how to fix bad system. from your experience, if someone has the system, but how do I know it's a bad system, and how to improve the process?
I mean, so I always go back to what do you want? I use the same systems in relationships. Like there's nothing other than relationships where like no one size fits all, right? We get that. But yet civilization is progressing, right? You know why? Because of systems. Okay? That's the only yet the human race is obsessed with money, more production, easier, simpler, better, faster, AI, right? This is just an excuse we give ourselves. You can create a system out of anything. There's patterns everywhere. If something is valuable enough, it has patterns that you can turn to systems. Now, I'm not discounting that there are some things that you need quote unquote personalization, but the word personalization itself is a system, right? We can insert dynamic insertions on emails and stuff like that and put people's first names and stuff. You can customize things. You can customize the whole chat conversation, right? It's not perfect. The point is not perfection. The point is how many people can you serve, right? So it's one of the excuses I've given myself as over time too. Like, no. I need this one needs to be a certain way and stuff like. Sure, but it will actually be better if you have data. Right? We can't, like, no matter what we try, excuse we give, we can't beat data. Right? So I get it to some extent. You can't do too much of it too. You can't systemize and automate everything too. That's not what I'm saying. Because that would break too. That's an extreme too, right? But we can't get too stuck on, oh yeah, it gotta be this way. No. If you don't have time, that's the problem we're talking about. We need to create more time. How do we create more time? You need to leverage. You need to use other people's time. Okay? Yeah. If there's any particular specific, you can, okay, if it's that bad, that means you're willing to pay more money for it. That's what we call customization. Right? You want customized furniture, right? You want handmade furniture. You're ready to pay more money for it. Can you afford to pay more money for it? Probably not. Okay, so slow down. Like, we need to systemize. We need to crank out more output, more production, so that you can actually help more people, right? And if somebody wants customized, like my services, right? I have systems. You can make money with. I have customizable stuff. It costs you $15,000. Or you can use my system, $47. Up to you, your choice.
Yeah, love it. Yeah, you don't hide my secrets, about delegation, about buying some time from others, and I often help youngsters to learn about something new, tell them how to focus in specific things. And I agree, some people are creative, they can't do such jobs, but many people are happy to do this job. They're happy to do some boring stuff. For me, it's boring. It's not boring for them. So that's part of the process.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nice. Ola, I want to ask about something that I found on your LinkedIn profile about getting more leads. And can you tell how to do it? For example, let's imagine I have organic reach, I use paid marketing, but how it can help me to get more leads from something that I have.
What do you mean? Like how to get more leads? Can you clarify?
I mean, like, for example, let's imagine I sell 100 items a month. My services, it doesn't matter, just 100. But to get this 100 sales, I need to have the process: organic reach, paid marketing, email, a lot of things. But how to increase the number of sales? I mean, like, for example, I know my content, I know my marketing methods. I'm successful with them, and some of my clients are too. They have process. But how to get more? How to increase results that you have?
So It depends, specifically, right? So my method is generate leads first, contact, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I can build a database of people who are interested in my services, right? On the front end, ideally, I like to see 3% conversion to sales, but there's more people on the list. So from every 100 leads, there's 97 that won't buy right away. Then I have an email series to continue to bring them back because timing is everything, right? Sometimes the timing is not right for the different individuals on that list. Some people will buy on day one, some people will buy 2 years later, right? The longer they buy, the longer the time, the higher the value of the customer, I found personally. They've already soaked in, they're usually, the timing just had to be right for them, right? But they have that level of trust because they've been seeing you consistently for 2 years, right? So it's not a question of is this some fly by night somebody that's about to scam me, right? It's not that. It's a question of the timing has to be right, and there's some people that buy on impulse and everything in between. So in terms of increasing sales conversion, I think a good copy is always necessary. Okay, a good copy is always necessary, and I will be careful with the AI generated copies. I'll be careful with that because the whole idea of good copy is because you know how to speak certain languages that everyone else is not speaking. Compelling messages, speaking to people's emotions because people buy based off of emotions and justify with logic later, right? And the AI does a great job, but there's some specific words that I personally am eliminating. I use AI tools as well, like things like unlocking your. If I see anything unlock, I'm taking it out. I don't want to see that anymore because all the marketers are using it, right? So you just be sensitive to things like that and don't overthink it. But so reach, quality of the message, the reach, market, big market, but targeted market, right? Make sure it's targeted market. Remember I said earlier on, the number one in all of this is solve one problem. That's the person you're talking to. That one problem has its way of branching out to other things. Let it do its thing. You focus on solving that one problem. Some people will actually come to you and clarify and say, I know you help us do this, do that, do that. Do you also help with this? Right? Then you say, yes, absolutely, we do that. But you don't want to spread yourself too thin. So I think you can increase your conversion rate by focusing on that one thing. It's the same idea when you're looking at which part of what phase, what segment in your funnel are you trying to increase conversion on? Are we increasing conversion from clicks to leads or from leads to sales? Or are we trying to increase email conversion, right? So you need to focus on what that is and then find out why you might be missing stuff. And there's many tools out there, but I'm not really a big fan unless you're working at a scale, like lots of data. I'm not really a big fan of using too many tools. At the end, one of the struggle for us is to go back to basics. A lot of time we have to go back to basics, keep things simple, because there's tools everywhere. Tools are beautiful, but if it's too much, you lose track of what you're trying to track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love using AI tools as well. I use a lot ChatGPT, and the last time I speak with ChatGPT more often than with my wife. I ask a lot of questions. And,
I do. I use OpenAI. If I'm not clear on something, I don't know. I just tell it. Give me some ideas, and then I work with it.
Yeah, and according to data, 5% of marketers and content creators lost their jobs because of AI. But I don't think that these people lost jobs because of AI. They lost these jobs because someone who can use AI can beat them. So
they lost their jobs because they were no longer valuable.
yeah,
It's the value.
and I increase my revenue a lot with AI. I create a lot of content at scale, high quality content. Of course, we edit. Of course, we spend time to check. But for example, we use AI for editing our press releases. We got mentions on CNN, Bloomberg, Dow Jones, Investing.com, Yahoo Finance, many big websites because of editing with AI. So basically, I can write a bad copy, collect data with a lot of grammar mistakes in each word, in each sentence, but AI can edit all this information, and
Yeah,
if CNN can accept this press release, it means it's quality.
yeah,
So
yeah,
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 yeah, I agree. You need to use it smart. You need to understand how it works.
yeah,
Then results will come.
yeah.
Uh, Ola, I wanna ask about my hobby. I love reading books. For me, the best format you can get from books, because compare to audio podcasts, to blog articles, YouTube videos, book authors usually spend 6 months to write a single book, 6 months, a year, it depends, but a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that is why I think books can bring a lot more value to me. And for example, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, they usually share loving books, not loving blog posts. So I think books are foundation of skills. But I found that many business books are great for sleeping. When you have trouble with sleeping, you can take a new boring book to read it, sleep well all night, don't remember anything from this book. So yeah,
Right.
I wanna ask you. You wrote these books. You wrote books, business books. But can you tell your writing style and tell your benefits? Why I need to read your books? Why my audience needs to read your books? So 5 books. Tell what kind of benefits we can get by reading your books.
Yes, yes. So with my books, I have the first book I wrote was Smart Real Estate Wholesaling, which is my background. That's how I started. I wrote this book, right? And then the following year, my wife and I wrote a book. We wrote this book right here, which is just our testimony, right? And our tips on how to make marriage work. We just celebrated 16 years. So we just thought
Nice.
we'd share, right? And then the third book was another book on, I just thought the other one was more wholesaling real estate. I did one generic on anybody that just want to understand how real estate works and how money flows in and out of real estate, right? And then the fourth book I wrote, see, I'm losing count now. Jesus. Okay, so eventually I was like, okay, one thing that I've spent the most amount of time doing especially in the last 15 years, 14, 15 years, but really 18 years, is digital marketing. I wanted to share my insights on, everything since the beginning of, we're like dinosaur in digital marketing. I wanted to share that, And recently, we decided to write number one red flag, which is for people, anything from dating to relationship. That's with my wife. Now, my process of writing is really, I use different processes for all the different books. They're all different processes. The most recent one was I did a masterclass on number one red flag, and then I decided to have the different tools that we have today to scan through it and pull out content. And then I went into each one of them and expanded them out and told a bunch of stories to basically justify all the points I was making in the masterclass. Okay, and then we cleaned it out and then we edited it again, and then it became a book. It became a 200 pages book, and that's my most recent process. But what I've noticed over time is that my process has refined more and more. So, the first book was written with like a copy, like a little copywriting. It was designed to sell people on the idea of wholesale. So it was like 12 chapters. Get their attention, give them a problem, solution, and expand each one out into a whole chapter, and then told stories. I told my personal stories and this stuff. So the one key thing in all of it is stories. I can't write a book if I don't have stories to tell. So, and that's what helps. That's why I think people should get my books, because they will actually see a real life story, right? That they can make sense out of, and they can see the nuances. And I try to make it clear that my books are not to be turned to religion. They're supposed to help you expand your own insights, and even sometimes argue with what I said in it. So that's my method right there. And we plan now to continue to release books in the relationship and marriage arena. We want to release one per year every December.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yep.
So your wife is smart as well.
She's very smart woman. Yeah, she.
Nice.
Yeah,
Love it. Love it.
yep,
Awesome. Awesome.
yep.
Ola, I want to ask my final question
Hmm.
about your experience. And I have students in my network who want to learn from scratch. I have business owners who want to learn the basic of digital marketing to grow their businesses. And it's important for me as well to learn from book author specialists like you. If you started today from scratch without any experience, knowledge, skills, it's your first day in digital marketing. You didn't write any book, just completely from scratch, student. What will you do if you start from scratch?
All right. So if I start from scratch, I'm gonna look at myself. What is the one problem I can solve for somebody? Right. Then I'm going to literally go onto Google and search that problem, like I am the one with the problem. I'm going to look at what comes up, what gets populated in the search engine results page, right? And that's probably going to give me 7 additional new ideas. I have access to internet, do I?
I hope yes.
All
In
right.
modern world, yes.
All right. Then and have a phone. I'll turn on my phone and talk from the heart how I feel about this topic, starting with that one problem. I'll start with the problem, I will end with the problem. Okay? And I will give people a call to action to give me a call so we can discuss how I can help them transform state A to start state B. Problem, solution. That's what I would do, right? And that process alone will probably spit out 100 points of data for me to build on top of. But they will be congruent with that one problem. You see what I'm saying? Then I'll build out from there. And then, granted, I don't have access to resources, fancy videos, B rolls, none of that. I'm just speaking from the heart. In fact, I think those things are detrimental sometimes. I think you're overthinking things as opposed to just speak from the heart to another human being using these platforms. And I will repeat that process at least once a week.
Yeah.
So I have 50 weeks, multiply by, I don't know, it's no way it won't build out. It's just not possible. Our biggest problem is that we know too much. Keep it simple. We can build out a lot. And then I would definitely, if I were to do, thank God you're saying, if I were to do all over again, I will always collaborate. I will always, no matter how, I'll just collaborate. Why not? Another conversation. I'll learn. I learn about the other person. I learn about myself. And I'll do it like that. So yeah, that's it right there. One problem. Everything goes back to one problem. One thing. I would always recommend the book One Thing by Gary Keller to people because this is an ongoing battle until we will always have distractions, and distractions are distractions because they are enticing. They look good. If they don't look good, they're not distracting. You probably don't pay attention. But if they are distracting you, that means you see some value and you're tempted to go try that out too. So that's but back to the question. One problem. Focus on the problem and solve that problem with information first. I will solve the problem. I'll give you the solution right here on this video. And then I'll ask you to contact me if you need help.
Awesome. Love it. Love it. Of course. Guys, if you wanna connect with Ola, you can find all links in the description below on this podcast. Just reach out to him. Tell the best way how to reach out to you, how to learn from you, how to follow you.
Right. Thank you. The name on the screen, I didn't realize that's what I came with, but they can contact me there as well. It's the platform where I discuss trendy topics with regards to relationships. And but they can find me at myempirepro.com. myempirepro.com. All the contact information is up there, and we have resources, we have products, and I try to practice what I preach. In terms of how I train, that's exactly what I do. I have students that are doing very, very well across different walks of life using what I teach, much better than I do. You know, so don't be like me. Do what I say. Don't do what I do. Stay focused. Focus.
Exactly.
Focus is a difficult thing to do.
Yeah. I remember when someone asked Gran Cardona about one tip for him, what kind of tip he can give himself if he's young. And he replied, focus. Just choose one thing and do it. You probably don't listen to me, but I advise you to listen to this one. So, yeah, love it, love it.
Yeah.
All
Yes,
right.
sir.
Yeah, it's a big pleasure. Thank you. Thank you so much. I always enjoy our conversations, our chat. A lot of valuable insights. You know how to share value. Guys, I recommend to anyone to follow Ola, to read his books because I'm going to do it. For me, it's important to keep learning, to find the way how to grow. And guys, see you next time.
I appreciate you, bro.